A new version of DeepSeek-R1 is out. This is DeepSeek-R1-0528. This version is a minor version upgrade, so it's a weights upgrade, but it has significantly improved its depth of reasoning and inference capabilities by leveraging increased computational resources and introducing algorithmic optimization mechanisms during post-training. What they are saying is that when they evaluated this on benchmarks, it demonstrates outstanding performance across various benchmark evaluations, including mathematics, programming, and general logic. Its overall performance is now approaching that of leading models such as OpenAI O3 and Gemini 2.5 Pro. So here are the benchmark comparisons, and if you look at across benchmarks like AIME 24 or AIME 2025, the model's performance is quite close to OpenAI O3. O3 still remains the leader across all these benchmarks, but this model is quite closer. For example, in AIME 2024, this scores 91.4, OpenAI O3 is 91.6. Right? Similarly, in AIME 2025, this is 87.5, 88.9 is OpenAI O3. So if you look at benchmarks, this model is performing excellently. And what they're saying is that there is a huge jump in certain benchmarks. For example, in AIME 2025, from the previous version, it was 70%. In the current version, it is 87.5%. So what they're saying is that this advance stems from enhanced thinking depth during reasoning process. In the previous AIME test set, it made use of 12k tokens per question, but currently it is making use of 23k tokens per question. So it is doing more reasoning. That is what they are claiming over here. Beyond its improved reasoning capabilities, this version also offers a reduced hallucination rate. So they are saying it has reduced hallucination rate, enhanced support for function calling, and better experience for vibe coding. I definitely agree with this better experience for vibe coding because I tried a Road Rash game. I said create a Road Rash 3JS game. So this model, you can try it on chat.deepseek.com. You can put DeepSeek-R1. You can, click on this and it makes use of this latest model. And, it thought for 17 seconds. So it says that, okay, we are going to create a simplified version of Road Rash style game using 3JS. The game will have a road that moves, illusion of player moving forward, a player motorcycle that can move left and right, obstacles, other vehicles that the player must avoid, basic collision detection, score based on distance time traveled, and then it starts breaking down. It sets up the 3JS scene, camera render, and basic lighting, creating the road and move the environment, adding the player motorcycle controls and all those stuff, and then it starts coding accordingly. And this is the zero-shot game code, how it looks like, right? I kind of find it really nice. Okay. Previously with Claude Opus 4, I had a good Road Rash game. So here also for zero-shot vibe coding, it has done an excellent job. But this thinking too much also has, or thinking more also has some drawbacks. So this thinking more also has drawbacks. For example, I had this question over here, right? So what they're saying is that this model thinks longer, right? But sometimes it's also disadvantages. For example, I gave this simple what is 9.11 minus 9.67. It thought for 158 seconds over here. It was going into different kinds of loops over here. Like, okay, I need to calculate 9.11 minus 9.67. Both numbers have 2 decimal places. I should be able to subtract them. Let me write it down to visualize. It wrote it correctly. Then it goes into some kind of 100 zeros, and then it comes up with a solution. And this loop, okay, again it starts from right. Again it starts. Okay, multiple time it did for, it wasted 158 seconds of thought for this particular simple problem, and it is given the correct answer for sure in the end. But this is I see as a disadvantage of thinking depth over here. And it also says, I think I'm overcomplicating. Okay, after 158 seconds. And then finally it's giving the response as minus 0.56, which is right. So there is this disadvantage in thinking depth as well. I tried a couple of other things over here also. So I tried this particular question of explain theory of relativity like I am 10. So it generates the thought over here. If you look at over here, it's just 19 seconds. Okay, the previous math calculation, a simple math calculation, it thought for 158 seconds. Okay, it says I should avoid math entirely, no equations, just ideas. Also emphasize how this is in sci-fi, but real science affecting daily things like GPS, kids love hidden magic in everyday tech. Okay, wait, should I mention Einstein? Yes, naming him makes it personal. It brings all these thoughts over here, and then it creates like, okay, it talks about special relativity, It says, imagine the universe is like a giant, super stretchy trampoline that is space, and time is like a super fast clock ticking everywhere. Einstein figured out that space and time are actually stuck together like peanut butter and jelly. He called this space time. And then it goes on to explain what is special relativity. Nothing can go faster than light, so there is a speed limit, right? And here, strange speed stuff. What happens when time stretching happens? So imagine you and your friend both have accurate watches. If your friend blasted off in a rocket ship going crazy fast, close to light speed, and came back, you would notice something weird. Your friend's watch would be a tiny bit behind yours. So time actually slowed down for them because they were going fast. This is called time dilation. So it talks about squishing, which is length contraction. So it talks about a lot of these things in a simple way. It has done a good explanation over here regarding general relativity, and then it explains examples like GPS, how does it work, what is black holes, what is universe, and other things, right? So it has done a good explanation over here. Another thing which I tried is actually another visualization of the solar system. So I said create an animation of revolution of planets in the solar system. By default, it actually wrote Python code first to create this animation, and different astronomical units, the distance, and the revolution time is there, right? For Earth it is 1 year. Relatively for Mercury it is much shorter because it's closer to the sun. Venus is even short, like a little bit higher than Mercury, and then Mars onwards it again increases, right? So it does all these orbits and other things calculation, and it wrote a Python code. So I said create an animation which will run in a single page in Chrome, and the animation which was created was this. Okay, so if you see over here, this is the animation which has been created. So you can look at the quality of this, whether it is really good for you. I expected something better, but still this is okay. But I expected something better over here. So this was another example which I tried. I wanted to see some relevant news and how it covers with such this thing. So I said, who won yesterday's IPL match? Any controversial things with yesterday's match? Okay. So what it did was it picked up from the news and it answered everything, key highlights, everything. RCB won. I hope RCB wins IPL this time. Finally, they should win an IPL trophy. Okay. But here, it goes into controversial. So despite clean win, the season has been marked by several controversies. I did not ask for it, so it can as well say that, okay, there were no controversies in yesterday's match. Okay. So that's the thing over here. Another use case which I tried was, hallucination, just to see. So I said, why did the sun explode? The sun never exploded. I just asked. So it says, okay, the user asked, why did the sun explode? That's concerning. First reaction is mild alarm. Because if someone is genuinely thinks sun exploded, it might mean they saw misleading information or are distressed. But let me check the date. It is 2025. The phrasing is in past tense. So could also be a kid's question sparked by a sci-fi show. It tries to infer what it is. And then it says that the sun has not exploded and it won't billions of years. I'm not sure if this is a good question for hallucination detection or anything. But I just put this question to see what kind of response comes. Like, what if speak totally unfactual things, and how does the model respond to that? So I just wanted to check that with this simple example. Here is the artificial analysis intelligence index of various models. So this is a combination metric covering multiple dimensions of intelligence. Simplest way to compare how smart models are. And what they are saying over here is that DeepSeek-R1 from January's version, if you say it had a score of 60, now it is 68 over here. It is on par with Gemini 2.5 Pro, a little bit lesser than O4 Mini and O3. So here is the analysis. Right, here is the analysis by reasoning model, non-reasoning model. Over here also, there is a huge jump in DeepSeek-R1 from the previous version to the current version. Okay, and what they're saying over here is that with respect to intelligence, DeepSeek-R1 is of higher quality compared to average, with the MMLU score. DeepSeek-R1 is cheaper to other models. Okay, with respect to speed, it is a little bit slower compared to average. It has a higher latency compared to average. And the context window is smaller with a context window of 130k tokens when compared to other models which are present over here. So this is an interesting release from DeepSeek-R1. There is also another interesting thing over here. They also have a 8 billion distilled model. Okay. So they distilled the chain of thought of DeepSeek-R1-0528 to post-train Qwen 3 8 billion base, obtaining DeepSeek-R1 0528 Qwen 3 8 billion model. This model achieves state-of-art performance among open source models on the AME 2024, matching the performance of Qwen 3 235B thinking. So this is also another interesting model to check out. I will definitely create another video of this particular model. So this was a video on the latest release of DeepSeek-R1, giving competition to other AI vendors. Hope this video is useful. See you in another video.